What? The food? What? I mean, this is an area of history that's just like so deep.
And over the baguette.
Themes of empire, mission, inheritance, and destiny. All right, hello and welcome to What the Food. This is a podcast that... Sorry, a brain aneurysm. This is a podcast that aims to uncover the fascinating origin stories behind dishes from all around the world, both popular and obscure. Each episode, we take a dish that you might already be familiar with, or one that you may have never heard of before, and we jump headfirst into their never-ending, twisting ether of time, transporting ourselves all the way back to the inception of these dishes and how they came to be.
Jesus, I feel like I'm reading a Stephen King novel.
Yeah. We uncover the epic tragedies, the happy accidents, the betrayals, wars, and secret love affairs that somehow led to the creation of the dishes that we eat today. Who knows what each episode has in store and what mysteries will be uncovered this week?
Well, we know, because we wrote the episodes.
I mean, shit on my intro, if you want. Through listening to this podcast, we hope to give ourselves and you guys, the listeners, a whole new appreciation for the food that we eat. So far, we've covered peanut butter, fish and chips, French toast, apple strudel. We did a two-parter on pizza, and we've done jellied eels.
Delicious.
My name's Miles Dickinson, and as always, I'm here with the master time traveller, clinical researcher himself, Andy Cantor.
Here I am. I'm here.
He's here. I'm super excited about this week because it's another topic that I have absolutely zero knowledge on going into this. Andy, what are we looking at today?
We talking bow today, son.
Bow, honey bunny.
Bow buns, bowsy, all sorts of shit.
Soft, steamy, delicious pillows of fun.
That's it. Brilliant. Yeah, man. This is this right here now. This is Bowtown. You just arrived. Ding dong. Next stop, Bowtown.
It's already begun. You're doing the ding dongs, mate. Very early. I was going to see how long I could put it off for, but you're already in the ding dong territory. All right.
Already in the ding dong. But yeah, no, we're talking bow buns today. I just want you to stop for a second. I want you to think back, maybe about 10 years ago, back when we were but wee lads frolicking in the summer sun, not a care in the world. If I was child Miles, would I know what a bow bun was at that point in time? Do you reckon he'd be able to give me an answer if I was to ask child Miles, what's a bow bun?
No, he wouldn't. He'd be too busy flinging his crazy bones around the place and twisting his Beyblades into a plastic arena.
Beyblades.
Getting pieces flicking off and hitting his eye.
Mad that, isn't it? Like 10, maybe even 5 years ago, like bow buns were just not a thing in England. I don't know.
I think like certain Asian foods, I don't know. I feel like Asian food has had like a massive growth spurt in the West in the past sort of 10 years.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I think as we'll see, this sort of food has always, for a long time, has existed in Asia. It's just now that it, maybe thanks to like social media and Instagram and stuff like that, we're actually seeing more of it. Do you like bao buns, Miles?
I do like bao buns.
When was the last time you had a bao bun, and can you remember what was inside of it?
I had a bao bun at a place called Bao in London.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like a really tiny little, like you could walk past it really easily and not know it's a restaurant. It's really super minimalist. It's all wooden interior, low benches. We went there, and this was like 2 years ago. It's been a while, but they do loads of funky. They do one that was like braised pork and peanut powder, and they'd like blitzed loads of peanuts into like a fine powder and put that on there. It's like pork and peanut. But yeah, I remember it being really nice. Very expensive though, hence why I've not been in 2 years, because I'm a broke ass bitch. But it was really nice.
It was really nice, yeah. Yeah, personally, I love them.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I went to China, I ate bao buns and they were good. Very good. I also ate scorpion, which was nay good. But the bao buns were good.
On a bao?
No. On a stick.
Right. Right, okay.
No, not on a bao. On a stick.
On a stick, Miles.
Uncultured swine. Yeah, it's still moving as well.
That's good. Fucking disgusting, mate. You eat weird shit, man. You went to, what did we say the other episode? You went to somewhere and ate fucking livers.
Florence.
Florence and ate a tripe sandwich.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I'd try anything once.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
You've just got to be
Cultured, like you said.
cultured. Yeah,
You've got to try out the culture.
Yeah, you've got to expand your gastronomic range.
I did read something somewhere that was like trying to explain the notion of eating sort of insects and rodents and things that we consider in the West something that's just like an absolute abomination to eat, that's very sort of culturally acceptable in Asia. And apparently, like, it's something to do with, like, religion. Like, I feel like it was the article or something that I was reading, I can't remember what it actually was, but it was saying something along the lines of the fact that, like, Christianity and these, like, Western dominant religions used to teach what was acceptable and appropriate to eat. And a lot of that was, like, cow, sheep, pig. And that's obviously why those are so dominant. But apparently in the East, their religions weren't so specific about what they could and couldn't eat. That's why it's perfectly normal to eat stuff like scorpions and these things that we consider disgusting, which I thought was quite interesting.
I think like eating insects is going to become more and more acceptable and like widely done because they're just more it's more sustainable,
right?
Because obviously there's so many insects knocking around and like farming them is going to be a lot more sustainable and a lot less impactful on the environment than farming, say, a herd of cows, which obviously produce a lot of CO2 and methane and all that jazz. So
require loads of water.
Exactly. So
it's interesting though.
Get ready. Cricket cereal.
Fuck that.
Cricket cereal with lava worm milk.
But do you not think that we're so set in our ways in the West that to break through that cultural barrier to make eating those kind of things acceptable is just going to be too much of a difficult task?
So I think it will be exactly the same scenario as how like my nan will not eat Thai food or struggles to eat Thai food or struggles to eat food with like any resemblance of flavour.
Here is your oatmeal, nan.
Well, you know, like shit.
Would you like raspberry jam? No? Okay. I assumed as such.
If she hears this, I'm going to be out of my inheritance. But like, she just like because they've not grown up. Yeah, exactly. They've not grown up around like, you know, Thai restaurants and Chinese restaurants and Japanese sushi. Like she'd never dream of eating sushi. Sushi,
raw
like
fish
as in like proper,
cooked.
Exactly. Yeah, like proper sushi. She'd eat like California rolls and stuff like that. But like a
nigiri.
sashimi or something like that. Yeah, nigiri. She'd never dream of that. Whereas for us, it's like a regular thing now, isn't it?
Yeah,
so I imagine it will be the same for the generation, maybe a couple of generations after us.
I was going to say at least a couple because, you know, at least these Thai curries and sushi have ingredients that we're aware of, just cooked in a different way. Whereas fucking rat on a stick. I'm not sure. But yeah, no, I think maybe you're right. Like as we, you know, become more and more in need of finding sort of these environmental solutions to farming and eating, we might see these different ingredients come into the mix. Potentially.
Yeah, definitely. Right, anyway, so if you don't know what a bao bun is, and I've been screaming at us for the past 5 minutes to give you a description, then here it is. Bao buns, also known as steamed buns or baozi, are a great, warm, fluffy treat of stuffing wrapped inside a soft white dough. Baos are hugely popular across China and vary from the size of a dumpling to the size of a burger depending on which region you're eating them in. The dough that makes up a bao is made up of a mix of flour, yeast, sugar, baking powder, milk and oil. The bao's like a tad sweeter than its related cousin, the dumpling. It's a little bit sweeter. It's basically a type of filled bun or bread-like dumpling that originates from Chinese cuisine.
They're kind of like small little diddy things that folded over, aren't they? And you can just pick them up.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep your hands clean. It's like a little folded sandwich in a way.
Yeah. So the bao itself is steamed rather than like oven cooked like you would a loaf of bread.
Right.
Primarily because dry heat cooking methods like roasting and baking evaporate too much of the flavour of the dish and also affect the texture of the food by hardening it too much.
Gives it a crust, doesn't it?
Exactly, yeah. So like the perfect bao should be light, round and soft. You know, it shouldn't be hard and sort of dense.
And it's the same kind of texture throughout, isn't it? The texture of the outside of it is the same through the middle.
It's more commonly known to be filled with, you know, sort of pork or duck or beef. However, as the bao bun has become more popular worldwide, the bao bun fillings have also become much more diverse.
Scorpions.
Now, an even better example. So a great example of this is a restaurant in Newcastle called Pablo Escobar, and on their menu they have the following breakfast bao:
crispy hash brown beneath sausage patty, topped with melty cheese, soft omelette, and slightly spicy and sweet sauce, all nestled into a super soft, warm, big, beautiful, bouncy bao bun.
England, England, shove sausage and egg on it, England.
Yeah, innit? Hash brown as well.
I mean, I'd eat it. I'd eat the fuck out of it. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, it's fusion at its most literal, isn't it?
Yeah, but like, just study this at the moment, right? It's in Newcastle.
Yeah.
It's Chinese-based food, but then they've named it Pablo Escobar, which is Colombian Pablo Escobar. It's like a play on words.
Yeah, it has absolutely nothing to do with it.
No. No. That's an idea that's come together behind a Weatherspoons table.
Yeah, 100%.
Innit?
Yeah. The creators of that idea were drinking Fosters.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Fair enough. I mean, good luck to him.
Yeah, good luck to him. I'll probably go when I'm next in the tune. But
surely there's a better pun in there for bow. I mean, I'm trying to think of one now, but
maybe just bow boys.
But yeah, bow boys.
Or if it's women, bow babes. Or if it's like a homosexual couple, bent bows.
I don't want sexuality to come into the fucking type of food I'm eating.
Bent bows.
I mean, yeah. Give it some thought for half an hour and we could come up with something better than Pablo Escobar.
Escobar.
Escobar. So they're getting the egg in there.
Yeah, eggs go bow.
Eggs go bow. Right, okay.
Anyway, right. Now you know what the hell a bow is. Let's get into the history of this little bundle of fluffy goodness, shall we?
This is the sound of us going back in time.
So, despite Paul Hollywood and the crew throwing bao buns into their Japanese week on the latest season of Bake Off, bao is not Japanese.
Oh, what fucking idiots.
Yeah, funnily, like when I was researching this episode, I kept coming across like article after article of just people calling out Bake Off as being a hella racist show.
Yeah, like it's a fucking different country, man.
Yeah, exactly. They just lumped it in. Yeah. It wasn't just this as well. Like there was another, they did like 3 challenges or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Only one of the challenges was Japanese, and the other one was some other Asian dish.
Just get stuff like that right. Like call it Asian Week, and then at least you've covered yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Oh god. The one thing that we know about stuff like this from doing this podcast is that people get very fucking possessive on their country's association with creating a dish, don't they? So there's Chinese people out there probably screaming at their TVs watching Bake Off.
Yeah. Massively. So bao developed in Chinese culture as a filled form of mantou. Mantou is a plain steamed dumpling which is often compared to bread.
Right.
Now, the story behind mantou is pretty fairy tale like, and to be honest, I'm not 100% told, but a story is a story, and I'll be damned if I don't speak these words to the people. So here we go. Here is the folklore / myth / some people believe to be the birth of mantou, which was the precursor to bao. Right. Mantou is said to have been created by a legendary 3rd century military strategist, Zhuge Liang, who was born in 181 and died in 234.
So what was he, a military strategist?
Anyway, yeah, so like I've already said, I'm probably butchering how you say his name, but it's Zhuge and then Liang. So Zhuge Liang. Okay. I'm going to go with Liang from now on. Yeah. So Liang was a chancellor as well, and he was later regent of the state of Shuhan during the Three Kingdoms period. Okay. So this guy is actually recognised as one of the most accomplished strategists of his era and has been compared to Sun Zhao, the author of The Art of War.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, his reputation as an intelligent and learned scholar grew even when he was living in a relative sort of seclusion. And cool enough, he had a couple of nicknames. One of them was Wolong or Fulong, which meant crouching dragon or sleeping dragon. Sick name, innit?
Innit? Don't fuck with this guy.
So a little quote we have, just give you a bit more flavour about him, is the following.
There is no greater weapon than a prepared mind.
Very philosophical.
It's like when we were back in Scouts, the whole thing was be prepared, wasn't it?
Yeah. Maybe this guy founded the Chinese version of Scouts.
Yeah.
Scouts!
Scouts! Why is he saying it so quick?
I don't know why he's shouting it either.
There is no greater weapon than a prepared mind.
So, yeah, you can safely say this dude is a big deal in Chinese history. Yeah. And history in general. You know, I think because of how big of a deal he was rightfully and wrongfully attributed with the invention of a load of different things. One of those things was the repeater crossbow, which is cool as fuck. Another one of those things was an early type of hot air balloon used for military signalling, known as the Kongming lantern.
I'm just imagining like them discontinuing that because too many people just drifted away.
Died. I'd never see it again.
Yeah. Our success rate is 1 in 3.
No, I don't think people actually flew on it.
They're not.
No.
Come on,
more like
scouts.
Getting all his flying off with all his kids. Anyway, yeah, this Kongming lantern, it was said to have been invented by Liang when he was trapped by an enemy.
Okay.
So
he can send out a signal to say, I'm here, I need help, kind of thing.
Exactly right, yeah. So friendly forces nearby saw the signal, the hot air balloon, and came to his aid and rescued him.
Clever guy.
Another one of the things that he is said to have invented was mantu.
Ooh.
And here is how the story goes for that. On the way back from battle, during his famous southern campaign to quash a rebellion around the area which is now the Sichuan province, the strategist had defeated his enemies, but was staring at the prospect of defeat, not by an army, but by a river that was impossible to cross. The river itself was said to be closely guarded by a deity, who refused to allow safe passage to Liang unless he threw the heads of 50 of his soldiers into the river.
What the hell?
Wanting to satisfy the deity's demands without sacrificing his troops, Liang ordered for 50 buns that looked like human heads due to their flat bases and round shapes to be thrown into the river.
Right. Well, this guy's gone from a very clever, respected man to an absolute psychopath because there's no deity there, and he's just stopped there thinking that someone's talking to him, asking him to sacrifice 50 heads, and then he's just ordered his men to steam 50 buns instead. And he's thrown them into the river, just literally for no reason. Didn't need to do any of that.
But the plan was a success. The deity was deceived, the safe passage was granted, and the buns were named Mantu, which roughly translates to barbarians' heads, in celebration of the famous victory that Liang had masterminded over the barbarian rebels and the deity.
But do you know what I'm saying? like if we just had a camera, like CCTV camera at that time, just to watch that happen. He's marching his army, he just stops at a river, and then just turns to his army and tells them that he needs to sacrifice 50 heads.
50 heads.
Like, he's just literally plucked that storage out of his arse.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was a success, though. Like, they managed to cross the river.
Great. Okay.
Now, quite rightly, we're not sure about all this malarkey, really, are we? Sounds a bit too like Hansel and Gretel, for my liking. Yeah. It's a bit like Brothers Grimm type shit. Yeah, another version of the story relates back to Liang's southern campaign when he was instructed that his soldiers who had fallen sick from diarrhea and other illnesses in the swampy region needed to be fed steamed
swampy
buns.
ass, more like.
So you've got like two stories here. You've got like the fun, like fantasy one, which is like, oh, what is your favourite colour? That sort of like Monty Python-esque crossing guard. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then you've got the probably more realistic, probably the more truthful one where everyone's eating some dicky rats and
20,000 men all shitting themselves.
Yeah, exactly. So they need some plain, i.e. a bowel plane.
Yeah, just something stodgy that's just not going to upset the stomach.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, God.
Anyway, whichever folklore you believe in, the belief is that from this point on, they would make this mantu to celebrate the victory, and they eventually became filled with a huge variety of meats, vegetables, and sweet treats for all the family. Oh. So just to clarify, mantu refers to steamed bun rolls without a filling, while bao, or baozi, to use their full name, became a dish in their own right, which was basically the mantu, which was stuffed with various fillings. Right. So you've got two things, basically.
The mantu on their own, were they dipping that into anything? Or
no, it was just like a bread roll.
Right. Just like having a bread roll, yeah.
You know, they would have had soy sauce and
stuff like that.
You know, vinegars and stuff like that. They might have dipped it in. Yeah, like I said, that's the folklore, but we'll get into like maybe the more real history now.
Yeah.
So mantou may have originated in the Xin state. It's Qin. It's Qin or Jin. I think it's Jin.
Okay.
Jin state of the Zhao dynasty during the reign of King Zhaoxiang, which ran from 306 BCE to 251 BCE. So this is like way before Liang anyway, like way before he was even born. Right. He was around sort of AD sometime.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. So this is what this guy's when?
This guy's 306 BC.
306 BC
to 251.
So 306 is counting down, isn't it, until it hits 0, and then it becomes AD, doesn't it?
And then it comes AD, yeah, exactly.
So
yeah, exactly.
306 years before Jesus Christ, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is
306 years
old shit.
Before Jesus was popping about, yeah, way before. So yeah, just so you know where the fuck we are in China too, it's quite a big place. The Jin state covers pretty much all of the west half of China, and it breaks into kind of bits of the northern part as well.
Jin
so that's where we are. Yeah, I think it's Jin, Qin. I think that's how you say.
Yeah,
how you pronounce it. It's not Quinn, is it?
The Quinn state.
Ken.
Yeah.
So the people running this area, or the dynasty, which is running this area at the time, is called the Zhou dynasty, and the Zhou dynasty is pretty remarkable and worth giving a quick mention, I think.
Okay.
So the Zhou dynasty lasted longer than any other dynasty in Chinese history. It lasted for around 790 years, which is pretty mental. And in case you didn't know what a dynasty is, it's quite simply a succession of rulers from the same family.
Right.
That's what a dynasty is. So in our world, it would be like a monarchy, really. But yeah, so the way that China's is at the moment, you've got loads of different dynasties all over what is modern day China. Yeah, I mean, I imagine as we cover more and more Chinese food, we'll get into more and more history of China.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
So the Zhou dynasty. So they accomplished some pretty remarkable things during their long tenure. Firstly, they were at the forefront of the development of Chinese philosophies, including Confucianism, Taoism, and legalism. Just because we like to educate y'all as much as we can, we'll break those three things down for you into bite-sized pieces so you can get at least one question right when the pub quizzes start back up. Get ready for this.
Yeah.
Milo, if you could explain what Confucianism is for us, please.
Confucianism was the idea that people should behave ethically and have great respect and commitment for their families. This would result in a better society. So an emphasis on respecting your elders and your grandparents. And was that not happening? Was everyone just fucking hating on Nanny and Granddad?
Yeah, imagine. I think it was more just like someone coined a name for it and just pushed it. Yes, that's Confucianism. Taoism was a belief in the Tao way that creates the world and how things should live. If people follow the Tao, they would live in peace and find contentment.
I need to live in some Tao, man.
And finally, what is legalism, Miles?
Legalism believed that people were evil by nature and needed strict rules and punishment to control their conduct. Wow, that's a very negative view of the world.
Like the first two, I can get on board with the first two. The last one, a bit sketchy.
Yeah, your Confucianism, treat your family and friends really nice.
Yeah.
Taoism, what you said. And legalism, everyone's evil and we just need rules so that we're not going to be evil anymore.
They need to be governed strictly.
Wow, okay. Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
So they were at the forefront of pushing those Chinese philosophies, and one of the other remarkable things that the Zhou dynasty brought to the world was the mantou.
Ooh. Soft squishy rolls.
Soft squishy rolls and Taoism. Mantou is typically eaten as a staple in the northern parts of China, where wheat rather than rice is grown. Because obviously, what's bao buns made out of? Wheat.
So they had more wheat in the north and it was more rice in the south then?
Yeah, exactly.
It must be something to do with like humidity and climate, surely.
Yeah, I think it is
drier in the north and more humid in the south.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so originally it was a bread for the peasants. And it was a favourite amongst the people. It was a convenient, handheld food that was perfect for eating on the go, and it was a filling snack for labourers and warriors, anyone who needed quick fuel, really.
I mean, that's the thing. They are because they're quite dense. These bao buns. So like, you only need a few of them, and you're really full.
Yeah.
Because that's what I found out when I went to this place. I ordered loads of them because they came on tiny plates. It felt like tapas almost. But after like 3 baos, I was getting full.
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus Christ, because they're so thick. They're like really dense.
Yeah.
It makes sense that, you know, they were a good food for poor people because, you know, you get full up from very little.
It's funny though, isn't it? Like, it's the same with pizza, how food that started as a peasant food is now like one of the most highly sought after foods.
Yeah. Were baos a street food?
I don't.
Was it started as a street food?
No, I don't think so.
They made at
I think
home?
it was made at home, but I couldn't really find any information on sort of historical bao street food stands. But I imagine it would have been sold. Yeah, it would have been sold on the street by some people. Across the continent and over the centuries, as a technique of making mantou spread, people began to put their own regional spins on the basic version. Folks began filling the dough before steaming it with savoury meats or sweet custards, curries and seafood.
Before steaming it?
Before steaming it, yeah, you have to do it before you steam it.
Do you?
How else are you getting the filling in?
I thought they were I thought they were done. You had to fill in once it's done. Like,
how?
I don't know. I just thought they kind of like, you just kind of prized them open like little clams and shoved in your little filling. I don't know.
Nah.
Oh, I'm thinking of, because there's different. I think why we're getting confused because there's different types of baos. There's the folded ones, and then there's the ones that are closed. And you're talking about the closed ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the filling goes in. Obviously, it makes 100% sense. The ones I've had from this bao place, they must be like a variation where they they're open.
Yeah. We'll get to them in a minute.
Right.
They're regional.
I'm jumping the gun. Got you. Okay, I'm with you.
Jumping the gun.
Yeah, closed baos. This is what we're talking about.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying here. So like the technique of making mantou, you know, it spread and people began making closed ones, making open ones, making small ones, making big ones. Like, it was completely different all over China. There wasn't just one way to do.
Yeah, it was just taking that base technique and then just running with it and experimenting.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, the shape, like I said, the shape shifted to, you know, fat, squatty pouches that, you know, contained all sorts of stuff.
I don't think that description was particularly good. Fat, squashy. You seem like negative opinions.
But what I'm trying to say is they changed shape quite a lot. You know, some got small and were meant to be enjoyed in like 3 little dainty bounds. They were called jibao. And, you know, others ballooned in size as it steered into, you know, things like the dabao, which is like a burger-sized bao bun, which is a big boy. But with the single qualifier being stuffed, mantou quickly became baozi, which evolved into the baos we see all over Instagram today. So going back to ancient China, though, it's not really until the Han Dynasty, which ran from 206 BC to 206 AD, very convenient for us, that wheat-derived foods like mantau, noodles became popular.
And is this in a different section of China? Is this a different dynasty?
This is a different section,
Right.
A completely different dynasty, the Han Dynasty we're talking about now. Yeah, so the Han Dynasty was considered by many to be the golden age of Chinese history and has actually influenced the identity of Chinese civilization ever since. Like, China's majority ethnic group refers to themselves as the Han Chinese. Like, that's how big a deal this
to this day
was.
they're still
to this day.
Whoa,
to this day, the biggest majority ethnic group refers to themselves as Han Chinese. This dynasty and this time in history is a big deal for Chinese people. The Hans were responsible for the development of the civil service and the government structure. They contributed scientific advancements such as the invention of paper, the use of water clocks and sundials to measure time, and the development of a seismograph. So like bits.
I was going to say, like, I'm so glad that these people in the past had the fucking energy and intellect to develop these things, because if it was left to us, I'd fucked it. I would not have made a working sundial. I'm just saying. I sometimes just think back to these amazing inventions and just think, thank fuck it wasn't me, because I just wouldn't have been able to do that.
wouldn't have been able to do it at all.
You know, these people from history have done us a solid. Like the wheel,
haven't they?
Thank you. Thanks.
I reckon, given enough time, you could manage it. You know,
I made a jewellery box in woodwork once, and it wasn't that great. It was a
Didn't
box.
a whole jury?
Well, yeah, it did. So
Well,
I guess, yeah, I guess it was fucking good, actually. But there's that, and then there's creating like geometrically accurate sundial that measures the time across the fucking cosmos. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, with almost no technology around you.
With absolutely nothing.
You had like a fucking sander and a belt saw, didn't you?
And a teacher who did most of it for me.
And everyone in the class was making pretty much the same things. You just copy.
So I stand by my point. So fucking Han Dynasty doing bits.
Yeah. Doing bits,
Whoa.
yeah. When it comes to food, the most common crops consumed during the Han Dynasty were wheat, barley, rice, beans, and millet. They also ate a wide variety of fruit and veg and domesticated animals like chickens, ducks, geese, sheep, that sort of shit. You ever stop to wonder why the Chinese eat more duck than we do?
No, not really.
No, I don't have an answer for you.
Oh.
Just popped into my head.
Have they got more lakes? Do they, you know?
Well, obviously they do because they're a bigger country, but
more per sort of like square mile, maybe not.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe,
Yeah.
but like I think the reason why specifically America isn't a big duck eater is because ducks require much more surface area to farm than chickens.
Right. Yeah.
So
just didn't make sort of
sense logistically.
I feel like it's one of those things that doesn't really make much financial and logistical sense, but that's just done out of, tradition nowadays.
Yeah. Like when I was in Beijing, like the number of restaurants you walk past and you just had ducks just hanging in the window.
Drying out.
I mean, we obviously went to loads of places and had duck pretty much every meal.
Yeah, they love it, don't they?
But I don't know if it's more of like a tourist thing. I don't know. I mean, there was obviously a lot of Chinese people there.
Yeah, I say. Well, I mean, I've never been to China, but going through Chinatown in London, it's very similar. Like all the shops have all got the ducks hanging up. I don't know whether it must just be like something that's just so integral to the tradition that it's just carried on. But I mean, it's its own meat. There's nothing that tastes quite like it.
Yeah,
it's delicious, really. Very fatty, strong flavoured, dark meat. It's got its place.
It's got its place. But yeah, if you're a duck expert, get in contact with the podcast. Let us know why Chinese people eat more duck than we do.
We'd love to know. You can get us on our email, which is whatthefoodpodcast@gmail.com. There you go.
So during this dynasty, the Chinese also developed better ways of preserving food as well.
Okay.
They came up with methods such as drying meat into a jerky, which is cool, and then roasting grain so it lives longer or it lasts longer when they can take it on their campaigns.
Right.
That sort of stuff, basically. Yeah. Also, another thing which skyrocketed in popularity under the Han Dynasty was stone mills.
Oh, right, okay. To make flour and stuff.
Exactly, yeah. So this increase meant that more people started to grind their wheat into flour, and as we know, wheat flour is the main ingredient in mantou.
Yep.
But it's not until like around the 10th century that the term baozi, which is the long version of bao basically, started to appear in history, and the word was used, as we've already said, to indicate a filled mantou. Yeah. So up until that point, they were just calling everything a mantou.
How's mantou spelt?
Mantou.
T-O-U. Okay.
So like up until this point, everything was called a mantou, but then someone basically was like, fuck this is getting confusing.
Yeah.
Let's just sort out a name for a filled mantou. Yeah, so firstly, we've got the mantou, and now we've got the bao. Well, what's next? Well, quite a bit actually. So we've already mentioned how bao changes drastically from one region to the next.
Yep.
Well, we'll go into some of these differences in a second, but I think it's important to also say how bao changes from one country to the next as well. One of the main countries where bao is popular or a form of bao is Mongolia. During the 12th and 13th century, you had the rise and subsequent domination of a decent chunk of the world by the Mongol hordes, and part of that newly conquered territory was the entirety of China.
Whoa.
And it was the Mongol leader called Kublai Khan, who was the grandson to Genghis Khan.
Kublai Khan.
They had sick names, all the Khans.
Didn't they? I'd fucking love to be called Khan.
Yeah.
Miles Khan.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it?
Andy Khan.
Not got the same ring to it, has it really? Kublai.
Genghis.
Kublai.
Andrew Khan. Miles Khan.
Doesn't work, mate.
No. We're just not cool.
No, definitely not. So yeah, it was Kublai Khan, who was the grandson to Genghis, who made history by being the first non-native ruler to control all of China in 1279. It's during his reign that the Mongols are thought to have discovered Mantu, or Bao, or both, and sought to make it their own.
It's ours.
It's ours. Give it us.
Get off.
So nowadays, in modern times, Mongolia has both filled buzz and unfilled Mantoon buzz, which is actually considered one of their national cuisines. And most commonly, buzz is filled with either lamb or beef.
Yeah, because there was a lamb bao on the menu that I didn't get to try, but I wanted to because I had it with the pork. I had the braised pork one, and then I had like a pulled pork style one, and then there was like a buttermilk fried chicken one that I had. But I think this bao place is quite modern. I don't think these were traditional.
Authentic, yeah.
Yeah, I think this was like a modern sort of like fine dining version of bao. But I did see lamb on there, so that might be a nod to, lamb does seem like a traditional way to have it. I bet it's nice.
I don't know if like the dough differed between a buzz and a bao, but
the actual bun itself.
The actual bun itself.
Yeah.
But I think they had wheat in Mongolia, so I imagine it wouldn't have differed dramatically. Maybe more like the flavours, the filling would have differed. And I mean, elsewhere around the world, Korea has mandu, which refers to both stuffed and unstuffed buns, and Japan has the manju. Turkey claims manti as a native food, while Afghanistan, Saudi Arabia, and Pakistan all prepare stuffed mantu.
Whoa.
Meanwhile,
so you can really see it spread out.
Yeah. It gets even further, maybe. So in Tibet and Nepal, you've got stuffed momo, which is a word that originated in China originally. Vietnam, you've got ban bao. In the Philippines, you've got siu pao. Thailand, you've got sola pao. Indonesia, you've got bak pao. And even in Hawaii, you've got something called mana pao. So I haven't heard of half these badges. I had the Japanese manju when I was in Kyoto. It was filled with like a chestnut paste. It was like a sweet one.
Was that nice?
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah, it was nice.
I don't like chestnuts, man.
Do you not? Don't get them at Christmas from the little street sellers.
The gooey nuts.
Yeah, gooey nuts.
Maybe a paste on a bao, maybe. Fuck it, I'll try it. But also, I got put off them because once we were at Alton Towers near Christmas time, and my brother ordered a bag of roasted chestnuts, and they had a maggot in one of them.
Oh.
There's a maggot in one.
What? Are you sure it was? Because the stuff inside does look like maggoty.
Nah.
Right.
He was a full-on maggot.
Well, I'm not sure, like, Alton Towers is known for the quality of the chestnuts.
No. But they're also not really known anymore for the quality of their rides either. Because that girl lost both her legs on the Smiler. And I don't want to go on a ride and lose my legs.
No, definitely not. Not worth it, is it?
No, anyway.
Good way to lose weight, though.
Wow. Well, is it? What? Is it?
Well, yeah, you're cutting like 40% of your body away.
Yeah, but then you're sitting in a chair for the rest of your life. That weight's going to come back, man.
Well, I don't know, is it?
Unless you get into like paraplegic basketball or something.
Yeah.
One ticket for the Smiler, please. That's a horrible joke.
Yeah, horrible.
So chestnuts, I don't fucking dig with them.
You don't dig with them.
Maybe crushed and spread on a bao bun. Maybe.
No, it was good. It was. Have you had like red bean paste? Have you had that before?
Don't think I have. No.
So that sounds like it should be savoury, but it's not. It's sweet. And they use it a lot in Asian countries as a dessert.
I feel like Asian desserts in general are just a bit weird.
They're just different. They're just very different.
Really different, aren't they?
Yeah.
Is it naturally sweet, or are they adding sugar into it?
I think they're adding sugar into it, to be honest. I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs and how they make it.
Oh, interesting. Now that we're talking about desserts, at this battle place I went to, the one and only dessert they had on the menu was deep fried Horlicks ice cream bao bun.
Sounds like a monstrosity, that.
So it was like, it had Horlicks ice cream. They made ice cream from Horlicks, which I think sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't order this, by the way. I was fucking too full. But Horlicks ice cream on a bao bun, and then the bao bun deep fried with the ice cream in there, cold still.
Nice. So it's kind of like a baked Alaska. That's with ice cream in it, isn't it? It's meringue. It's not deep fried. I think it's just put in the oven. But that sounds banging. Sounds good.
Yeah,
I eat that.
Horlicks ice cream. Yeah. Next time you come, we'll go.
Next time. Yeah, for sure. So you've got
baos everywhere. You've got dump trucks of baos here, bao there, bao here.
You've got styles of bao buns in loads of different countries, but in the languages spoken in these countries, the word mantu has no native meaning. So this largely suggests that they adopted the mantu as their own from elsewhere in the world. And as we've already seen, that elsewhere was more than likely China.
China. The China virus.
China.
Because that manta is a word that they previously used before.
Yeah.
So you can tell that that's the sort of...
Yeah, exactly. And it's got no native meaning in their languages. So it doesn't mean anything in Japanese. It doesn't mean anything in Korean.
Indonesia.
Yeah, exactly. But it means something in China. So it's likely that they...
Clues.
Took it from elsewhere, or it came to them from elsewhere, and like a trader brought it and was like, fucking hell, have you tried one of these mantu? What's it called? Mantu. All right, yeah, sound. We'll have that, and we'll put some nigiri in it, or whatever the fuck we got lying about that's native to us.
Yeah, clues, man. We've deduced that.
Yeah, exactly. Right, so I thought it would be fun to dig a little deeper into how bao differs from one region to the next in China, because as we know, China is a big boy country, not like us small island folk. Like, if you think about how different it is from Lancashire to Yorkshire, like, imagine how different it is from fucking Shanghai to Beijing.
yeah. It is just a different country, really, isn't it?
Like, pretty much. Yeah. There's, like, huge differences in culture, in cuisine, in dress code from one area to the next. And as with anything, differences create rivalry and fierce loyalty to your home region. Right. Each region of China is fiercely proud of its own traditional method of making the bao. This pride is sort of similar to like the age-old debate of rolls, baps, barms, cakes, cobs.
Yep. Yep.
Now, I don't want to speak for you, Miles, but I would say that we're firmly barm lads.
We're a barm cake bunch. They don't get it down here. I'm down here in London. I order barms. They don't know what I'm asking for.
No.
They call it the rolls. They call it a roll.
Roll.
But that just makes sense, because if I order a sausage roll, I don't know what they're going to give me. No. Are they going to give me a phyllo pastry wrapped sausage? Or are they going to give me a barm cake with sausages in it?
Yeah, exactly. You don't know what you're getting.
How do they differentiate? I'm not going to call it a roll, am I?
No.
I'm going to call it a barm. Can I have sausage barm, please?
I always thought they said bap down there.
I think they use baps as well, yeah. They use baps.
That's a shit word. Bap.
Yeah, sounds like my nan uses it. It's always back to nans, isn't it? I'm hating on nans. Always. I love my nan. Anyway.
Right, so the first bao that we're going to cover, or the first region that we're going to cover, is Chengdu. Or Sichuan. Ooh. So wheat grows prominently in the northern areas of China, and the buns from this area usually contain sort of spicy mixtures of pork, beef, vegetables, and sometimes eggs. The reason why they're spicy is thanks to the Sichuan peppercorn.
Ooh, love this.
Yeah, it's good. So the baos from Chengdu are pretty much the ones we see in every bao shop knocking around in the UK nowadays.
Oh, really?
They're like the closed ones, Instagram ready, perfect softness, fluffiness, roundness, perfect shape. Boom. Chengdu baos. They're your classic ones. Your Hong Kong. So right, we're moved into the Hong Kong region now. Hong Kong is home to the world famous char siu bun.
Oh.
Yeah, these buns are made with the rice flour that is found everywhere in southern China, rather than the wheat-based flour that is found in the warmer climates of the north. Yeah. The result is like a slightly thinner outer layer, which allows the sweet barbecue filling of the char siu pork to take the limelight and control the flavour train.
Choo-choo.
Right, baos in Shanghai. Xiaolong bao are a world-famous soup dumpling that are the staple of Shanghai cooking.
Whoa.
They are super difficult to cook, but if you manage to try some, you will not regret it. These baos take their name from xiaolong, which is like the special steaming basket that you have to serve them in.
Oh yeah, I want to get one of those. I want one.
Yes, so I think this is a bit different from the thing that you're thinking of. You're probably thinking of just like the bamboo steamer.
Pan topper thing.
Yeah. I think this is slightly different.
Right.
Because of basically what these bao buns are. So to eat these bao buns in the traditional way, once you've taken them out of the steaming basket, you need to pierce them and drink all of the goodness that's found inside the soupy cores before eating the bun afterwards.
Okay.
It's like a savoury Chinese Capri Sun.
Yeah, isn't it? I didn't expect that. So wait, you take it out once it's steamed, you prick a hole in it, drink, and what's that? What they filling this with? Like, again, like meat, like pork and stuff.
Yeah, so it's soup. So it's basically a bao bun and a bowl of soup in one.
Whoa, and the soup's nestled inside the bao bun.
Inside the bao bun.
Prick a hole in it, drink your soup.
Yeah.
That's asking for third degree mouth burns. I burnt my mouth the other day just trying a sauce, but if I'm pricking holes in things that I can't see into and then squirting it into my mouth, like, how do I know how hot it is in there? Absolute molten pork sauce in my mouth. I don't know.
Yeah, but mega hard to make, as you can imagine. Like, you have to basically wrap liquid in dough.
yeah. How the hell do you do that? Oh my god.
Yeah, I have to watch some videos of people making it.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, so you got to wrap the dough around and basically trap the liquid in, and then you've got to go through the process of cooking the actual buns without bursting the dough itself.
Oh god, yeah. I was going to say, it kind of reminds me a bit of like ravioli in a way. You know, you get an air bubble in there, or one little thing wrong and it bursts, and all that filling kind of spills out. And,
one for ordering out, I reckon, not for making at home.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. The last one is the last region we're going to cover is Taiwan. Ooh. And the baos in Taiwan are some big boys.
Oh, these are the big burger ones.
Yeah. So in Taiwan, they have these big burger-sized buns that are basically jam-packed with all different types of filling. It's like, I saw some where you basically just get a full meal inside of one bun that you can eat on the go. These ones are actually served in the open format as well.
Yeah, the folded.
Exactly.
Kind.
Yeah. But like I said, in some cases they're absolutely massive. The pictures that I saw, it kind of looked like a tortilla, you know, like a proper sized tortilla.
Oh right, yeah.
But instead of it being like obviously thin like a tortilla, it's big and thick like a bao bun. Everything from like beef to crab to sweet potato, everything.
I'm so in the mood for a bao bun now.
But I got some in the freezer that we picked up from the Asian supermarket.
You can have some tonight?
Yeah, I am, yeah.
Fuck you, man. Fuck you. I might have to order some. There's a place that does it.
Is it?
Yeah.
Pad Bao Escobar?
Yeah, no, it's just like a Chinese place, but they just, for some reason, they do bao. And I've ordered them before and they're really good.
Why'd you say for some reason?
Well, because it's just like a normal Chinese takeaway.
Bao's Chinese.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, you don't often see like actual bao buns on a regular like English Chinese, but they just have a section for. I mean, that obviously is probably testament to how much it's becoming popular, isn't it? The fact that these places are now just throwing that on the menu. But they're really good. They must have a proper thing.
I would imagine. I would wager that 60% of the. No, I'll go higher. 80% of the Chinese takeaways that are doing bao now do not make their own.
What, they're coming in frozen and they're just
frozen,
steaming them
because it's such a time-consuming process.
Yeah,
and they've already got hefty menus in the first place, haven't they?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. The ones I'm having are probably frozen, but they're still quite nice.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, it doesn't make a difference. Chinese restaurants in the UK, I think, need an
overhaul. They need to just less on the menu and just cook fresh. A smaller.
Pick like 10 dishes and just fucking smash the fuck out of them.
Get them right. Well. Yeah. Like if we were going to open up a Chinese, that's I think what we'd do. Yeah. Less is more, I think.
Less is more, for sure. So yeah, there we have it. You know, a deep dive into the origins, history, and the difference of the humble bao. Bao is a food that has seemingly sprung out of nowhere and taken the Western world by storm. Mm-hmm. But in reality, it's been around before Jesus was kicking about and before us Brits were eating fish and chips.
For sure.
In my opinion, bao is the perfect food. You have the soft outer layer, which is just delightful and is the perfect vessel to carry any flavour. Then you've got the completely customisable filling that you can put whatever the fuck you want in there. Sweet, savoury, whatever, and it will turn out tip-top.
Definitely.
All I know is, if I'd have grown up in China with a fairly well-off family, I'd have been a fat little bao-eating boy, perfectly bao-shaped in my appearance.
Yeah, I was going to say a little bao-shaped boy yourself, yeah. I think there are plenty of little fat, chubby Chinese bao boys, aren't there, knocking about?
Yeah. When you've just got, like, delightful bao buns on tap.
Yeah, innit?
Oh, yeah.
Little Chinese kids looking like the Michelin Man, going around eating bao buns all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That was good. I learned a lot there. I knew absolutely zero about bao buns before this.
No, and I actually had to dig deep to find history about bao buns because there isn't much of it.
And what is in Chinese?
Exactly. Exactly. And it's just been not translated into a language that we speak.
No, good job.
Yeah, and like all the Google translations that I did were just fucking useless.
yeah. Might as well not bothered.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you're right though. Like with what you touched on just then, is like why they're such a good food is because of their versatility. Like the actual bun itself, the mantou, it's just like a raw canvas, isn't it? and you can just apply whatever kind of flavors you want to it: sweet, savory, spicy, umami, subtle. Like, you can just do whatever you want, and I think that's what makes it so popular.
Yeah.
And the thing is as well, what's interesting is that, like you said, you know, it's becoming increasingly popular over here in the West, and you know, it's becoming a very Instagrammable thing to eat. But it just like begs the question, like, what else is not yet made over that we're you know, in for? There's going to be so many things that are yet to sort of take hold over here. It's quite exciting, isn't it, that these new dishes are going to start emerging. And I wonder as well, just thinking about it, if the opposite thing is happening to China, if like, you know, Western food is kind of being drip fed into their culture as time goes on.
Yeah.
You know, steak and guinea pie is just an absolute craze in Shanghai at the moment.
Just craze, yeah.
Everyone's they're all Instagramming it.
Jellied eels popping up in fucking Hong Kong.
I mean, these are the drastic ones, but you know, maybe I would like to think that maybe it's happening the other way around as well. Yeah. But that's just, I guess, globalization for you. Just the world is becoming a smaller place, and we're all definitely becoming one big mixing pot of amazing things.
I wonder why though. Why it's taken this long for bao to arrive here, because we've had Chinese takeaways since, you know, for ages in the UK, and they've been selling staple Chinese dishes for like spring rolls, prawn toast. Why did the bao not come over with those? I think it's just a case of the fact that there's so much that it just like, I mean, think about this, right? How much of how many people are banging into their salt and pepper at the moment? Like salt and pepper chips, salt and pepper chicken wings, salt and pepper. I think salt and pepper has been on Chinese menus for ages, but it's just not been that popular. You know, when I was little, crispy shredded beef wasn't really a thing, but like everyone went through a stage of just like tanning crispy shredded chili beef. But bao buns, they're here to stay though. I think they're only going to get more and more popular over here. I would wager.
100%.
Like when I arrived in York, there was no places that sold bao buns. Yeah. Now I can think of 5.
With York, there's a massive tourism, isn't there, from China, and you find quite a lot of places catering to those tourists, don't you? But which is good for us, because you know, when we're in York, we're eating all sorts of really cool traditional alternative cuisines. So yeah. Well, there you go, guys. That's the origins of bao.
There you go.
Hope you enjoyed that one. We certainly did. And we've got more episodes coming. Every 2 weeks, we're releasing episodes. We've got them coming thick and fast. Got some really exciting ones, actually, coming up that I'm really looking forward to learning about. Again, some that I absolutely have no idea about.
Yeah, we're off to another part of the world, which we haven't covered next week.
Yeah.
Or next 2 weeks.
Next week. Yeah, next fortnight.
Whatever the fuck it is, whatever time we record, I don't know.
I don't fucking
I just turn up and do my job and clock out.
Get off my tits. But yeah, and let us know if you're enjoying the podcast. Like we would genuinely really like to hear from people. If you are listening and you're enjoying it, send us an email at whatthefoodpodcast@gmail.com. Be great to hear what you think, and if you have any suggestions for dishes that you want us to cover, more than happy to take those on board and get Andy to do the hours and hours of research into it. Cool.
Shout out. Thanks for that, lad. Cheers, mate. Cheers, guys.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks a lot for stopping by, and we will see you next episode.
See you on the flip side, folks.
See ya. Bye.
Bye. Bye.